Hello and welcome to my channel, The Atypical Developer. This is my very first video that I made in my entire life, so I hope you guys will like it. In this video, you will learn basic stuff about Material UI. I will take you through the installation process and I will show you how to add your first component to your project. In this series, I will try to cover as much as I can about Material UI and their components. I will share tutorials with fundamental knowledge about MUI. On top of that, I am going to talk about more advanced use cases. At the end of the series, you will end up with a simple dashboard created with MUI components, which I'm going to show you in a bit. Okay, so what is Material UI? MUI is basically a user interface library with lots of various components that will speed up your work as a web developer. This library will help you to maintain the consistency of UI in your application. You can see an example of MUI components right now. We have a date picker, range slider, and some other interactive components, but we are going to talk about it later in the series. This library is being used by the biggest companies in the world like Spotify or Netflix. Their offer isn't limited only to UI elements. Let me just guide you through each one of these. MUI Core holds all fundamental components like inputs, buttons, grids, and so on. MUI X, collection of more advanced elements like data grid or charts. Templates, place with ready-made templates, free or paid, and design kits, assets of design accessible via Figma, Sketch, or Adobe XD. Just the last thing on the homepage, it is insane that MUI is being downloaded 2.3 million times weekly. Alright, let's go back and open up the documentation page where I would like to show you the basic button component, which is just the other one. Yeah, that's the button. It comes styled with different variants which are controllable via props, and I'm just gonna scroll all the way down to the API section. I'm just going to open button API page. Here you will find all the props for button component. We can override styles with classes, and there are just lots of use cases, which I'm going to talk about later. Okay, let's get our hands dirty now. I will open up a terminal and install a React application using create React app. So in the terminal, type in npx create React app and the name of your repo, which in this case is Material UI, and hit enter. This might take a few minutes to get node modules downloaded, so just to speed things up, I will fast forward this boring part. Okay, I've opened my repo in Visual Studio Code. Let me just run the terminal and npm start this application. Here you will see the generic create React app page once it's loaded up. Okay, there it is. In the next step, we will get rid of some of the built-in elements that are not needed for this tutorial. Okay, I'm gonna clear it up a bit now. I'm gonna get rid of app.test file as well as app.css file and the setup test.js file as well. Let's head back to app.js file and clear it up a bit. We don't need any of that code for our tutorial. Okay, this is looking good now. You can save the code and refresh the browser. You should end up with an empty page. Once that's done, we can just head back to the MUI website and start the installation process. Now hit the get started button, then just hit on the installation label, copy the npm install package and paste it into your terminal. This might take a few seconds, but once it's done, we can try adding in our first MUI component, which is going to be the button. So head over to the usage label. Once our package is installed, it will be fairly simple to add the components. So just copy and paste the import line to your IDE, which in this case is button, and paste it in at the top of the app.js file. And now we want to render it. I'm going to call it within the div with first MUI component label. Once it's done, you can save your code and refresh the browser, and there you go, that's your first MUI component. But when you look at the sample MUI button, you will find that it looks slightly different from our one. This is because we haven't specified the variant of it. Let me just show you how to do that. Within button, add your props, a variant equals contained, Save your code and refresh the browser. Now it looks the same. To find out more about the button props, you can just go to MUI.com/API/button. We are just going to copy some of the props and play around with it. I'm not going to get into much details in the first video, but we are going to look into it deeper as we move forward with our little MUI project. You can see there's plenty of things that we can use, but again, I'll just keep it simple for now. I'll just set disable state to true, and you can see the button styled itself nicely and it isn't interactive anymore. Now I'm going to add an onClick event and call it using an arrow function with a console log so I can see if the event has been fired off. I'll just write a click event, save and go back to browser. And I can see the click event has been fired off. So if I add the disabled state back in, then on click event should not happen anymore. And as you can see, it's not clickable. Okay, I think we can call it a day. In this video, we have achieved a couple of things. We have installed the MUI library, we've added our first MUI component, and we did play around with props. This was my first video ever, so I hope it was bearable. Feel free to ask any questions, I'll be happy to help. In the next video, we are going to start building our dashboard. We are going to create a grid and we will set up the left side menu. Of course, for everything, we are going to use the MUI elements. This is the application that we are going to build. At the end, we will have a fully functioning dashboard. We are going to add a router, various MUI components, the basic ones and more advanced ones. And I guess that's it. Thank you and have a good one.